No way. Ah, really? Damn.
Alright, what the hell are you doing? You've been making noises for the past hour, and I'm not sure if I should get help or invest in noise-canceling headphones.
Huh? Oh, sorry, GBC. I'm just reading JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Well, keep it down. I'm trying to focus.
Sure thing, buddy. No way, that's crazy!
Hey, Tyler, how would you like to experience JoJo firsthand?
More than anything currently.
Well, you're in luck. As it turns out, there's a game that I can give you the full JoJo experience.
Did you just use some sort of new power to find a JoJo game?
Don't be a moron. I use the internet. Now then, let me just order it and I'll get you on your way.
Awesome! I'm gonna go get ready!
Hey, I need a favor. Uh-huh. Oh, really? Same day delivery? Awesome, thanks.
God, there's something so familiar about this text, I just can't put my finger on it. Oh well, let's just pop the game in.
Zawaldo! Tokiwotamare! Now then, since we are... Wait, are you frozen in time as well?
Nah, I'm just messing with you.
Right, well I, Dio, have trapped you in frozen time, and where are you going?
Oh, I just thought I'd fuck around with GBC a bit.
I, Dio, command you to sit back down.
You're not the boss of me.
Now then, if you continue to defy me, I shall throw more knives at you.
Whatever. You think I'm scared of a JPEG of a knife? Before I start talking about the game, I'm going to need to preface this by informing you on just what JoJo's Bizarre Adventure is. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure started life as a manga running in Weekly Shonen Jump in Japan in 1987. The series follows a family known as the Joestars in their bizarre adventures. Anyways. Part 1, also known as Phantom Blood, stars Jonathan Joestar during the 1800s, as he must fight his adopted brother Dio Brando and stop him from taking over the world. Also, Jonathan must utilize the power of breathing and the sun to defeat vampires and zombies. Part 2 stars Jonathan's grandson, Joseph Joestar, taking place in 1939. He must team up with an Italian and a Nazi to fight ancient Aztec gods to save the world using magical sun energy. Now, I'm not really doing this series justice, mainly because I want to get right into the review, and because you should honestly go watch the anime and read the manga. Anyways, on with the review. This game follows the events of the third part of JoJo, Stardust Crusaders, with new resident JoJo, Jotaro Kujo. As Jotaro, Joseph, Kakyoin, Avdol, and Polnareff have to travel to Egypt within 2 months to fight Dio, save Jotaro's mother who's being attacked by her stand, and save the world. Each of the battles in the story mode act to simulate similar battles in the manga. This causes a lot of story to be dropped with only a little bit of text segments explaining things. Seeing as this game expects the person playing this to have read the manga, I'm gonna try my best to talk about the story the same way the game does to give those who haven't consumed anything JoJo an idea of what to expect. We start off with Jotaro locked inside a prison cell, one he put himself into due to Jotaro thinking he's been possessed by an evil spirit. Joseph shows up with an Egyptian man named Abdul to get Jotaro to come out. This is when we learn that what Jotaro is talking about is what's known as a stand, and it's basically one psychic power personified. After getting out, Jotaro heads to school where he fights with Kakyoin and his Hierophant Green, and where Jotaro pulls out a mind-controlling flesh bud from Kakyoin's head, causing Kakyoin to join Jotaro as an ally. The first stand attack of their journey to Dio is the stand known as Tower of Grey, which is a stag beetle for whatever reason. I swear Kakyoin is the worst character, seeing as Hierophant Green isn't very offensive, nor is he as fast as Star Platinum, and this is a fight that needs speed as Tower of Grey is super fast and annoying, able to deal around a third of my life bar with a single attack. With the stand defeated, the plane crashes with Joseph remarking about how this is the third plane he's crashed, and Jotaro retorting with wanting to never fly with Joseph again. The next is a man named Polnareff and his stand Silver Chariot, which is super easy to take care of with Abdul, as he has this long-range fire attack that just wrecks Chariot. We learn that Dio was mind-controlling Polnareff with the same flesh bud that was controlling Kakyoin, and Polnareff begs to join so that he may take his revenge not only on Dio, but on the man who killed his sister. This is where the game becomes less of a fighting game and more of a collection of mini-games in between the fighting, as the next stand fight is with Dark Blue Moon, and all you do is choose the direction the flashing arrow is pointing. It's pretty simple stuff. Onto the next stand, which is a shooting segment in which you must shoot an orangutan several times in order to beat it. Back to the actual fighting game portion of this fighting game, we take on Debo and his stand Ebony Devil, which is possessing an evil-looking puppet. Seriously, you would have to get something like this custom made. There is no way any store would sell something so horrifying, right? Next is Yellow Temperance, who has disguised himself as Kakyoin in an attempt to confuse Jotaro. Sure is a shame he got the color palette of Kakyoin wrong, or it might have actually worked. After this fight, we learn several more arcana are coming after them, being Wheel of Fortune, Justice, the Emperor, the Empress, and the Hangman, who happens to be the man who killed Polnareff's sister. Next up being Whole Horse and his stand the Emperor, and let me tell you how bullshit it is for your stand to literally be a fucking gun that shoots magic direction-changing bullets. This fight would be bearable if you could get close to him, but Whole Horse keeps his distance, and being Polnareff makes things difficult. Next up we see Polnareff defeat the Hangman's user by cutting the stand in half, which is really brutal all things considered. Hey, were you enjoying those fighting game segments in your fighting game? Too bad, because here's another weird QuickTime event segment dealing with the Empress, who takes the form of a growth on Joseph's arm. The next stand, being the Wheel of Fortune, is a car. Go figure. And it's also another QuickTime event segment. Man, this game loves QuickTime events like I love JoJo. And I really love JoJo. Oh hey, a beat 'em up segment. At least this is like a fighting game. Here we fight Enya, who has used her stand Justice to animate corpses so that we would have something to focus on while we beat crappy Yoda over here. Before Jotaro has time to question her about Dio, she dies. Huh. It's almost like beating the crap out of an old woman with something that can punch faster and harder than a bullet would kill someone that age. Weird, right? Wait a second. I just thought of something. What's just stopping me from going to Cairo and killing you?
Time is stopped, so you won't be able to.
Okay, but how exactly do you know?
What do you mean?
I mean, is time stopped all over the world, all over the universe, in a small, little section? How exactly would you know? Hello. Yes, I'd like to book a plane ride to Cairo. Uh-huh. Alright, goodbye. Guess who has a plane booked for him to Cairo? This guy.
I hate you.
Most people do. Anyways, where was I? Oh yeah. And just as soon as they get here, the fun segments disappear. Hope you like shoot 'em ups, because if you don't, well, fuck you. This segment in the game is one of the worst, as you have to go inside of Joseph's head as Hierophant Green and Silver Chariot to defeat the Lover's Arcana. This is a 2-stage shoot-'em-up section that lasts forever. You don't regain health, so if you lose any, well, good fucking luck. And if you die at any point, regardless of the position in the section, you get sent back to the beginning. I finally beat it, I think after an hour of trying, and I was unable to even catch it on footage, as I didn't want to have several hours worth of useless footage. The only good thing about the segment is we get to see Jotaro aura the shit out of the stand user, which is kind of satisfying, but would have been several times better if we got to do it ourselves. Though, knowing this game, they'd make us go through several layers of bullshit to even do it, so let's just keep powering through it. Sun is next on the list, and this time we get to play a game of Spot the Difference and throw a rock at it. The stand user is a guy hiding behind a mirror, and it's just stupid. I feel like this next one is missing a lot of context, but our heroes find themselves in a dreamland where the stand Death 13 tries to kill them, unable to use their stands. Kakyoin, for whatever reason, has access to a stand, and even though this is a Kakyoin fight, at least it's an actual fight in this fighting game. That's at least something, right? Next up on Polnareff's Bizarre Adventure, we have the Judgment Arcana that summons clay versions of Avdol and Polnareff's sister for the real not dead Avdol to fight in the same kind of segment we had with Enya. Jotaro is up this time to fight the High Priestess stand, whose teeth are apparently as strong as diamonds, but that doesn't stop Jotaro from performing reconstructive surgery on her face with Star Platinum's fist. Well then, I guess Diamond really is Crush. If you stuck around past that bullshit, you were rewarded with Dio, and this part of the game is probably the longest with the most consecutive fights in it. They reach Dio's coffin room, and as it's being opened, Nukasaku somehow appears in the coffin. It's at this moment the gang gets the fuck out, realizing they are in way over their heads. This is where we once again get a choice. Do you go with Joseph and Kakyoin, or do you go with Jotaro and Polnareff? I went with the latter, and this proceeded into the fight with Dio and his stand, the World, and it would appear that he can stop time. Dio is probably the most frustrating stand fight in this game. With Jotaro it's mildly easy, but with Polnareff it is demonic. Definitely worse than any of the two fights with Whole Horse. Dio just has more power and speed than Polnareff, which becomes very apparent when my health goes from full to half health with a single attack. After repeatedly getting my ass handed to me, I managed to beat Dio with Polnareff, only to immediately get backhanded in a cutscene. With Dio about to cut Jotaro's head off, Star Platinum gives a good old-fashioned punch to the face, allowing Jotaro time to lay some smackdown up until Dio makes a run for Joseph's body. Dio now has drained Joseph of his blood, and this leads us to our last fight. Oh my god, this fight is difficult. The only way I was able to beat it was by cheesing it in such a way that I was able to use a move that I like to refer to as Jotaro's Wombo Combo. A combo that breaks their guard and sends them flying. Sure, it's not the best method of defeating a vampire, but use whatever you have to win against a dude who is indirectly killing your mom, I suppose. With Dio defeated, Jotaro finishes on a one-liner so cool it would cause any small boy to go through puberty immediately, and embodies Jotaro as a character. The reason why you lost, Dio, is because you pissed me off. With that, our heroes all go their separate ways, with their fallen friends in their minds, and the game ends. For a retro fighting game, it feels really well when you do have fights in the story mode. It being made by Capcom, possibly the king of fighting games, helps it out a lot in terms of mechanics. It is your basic fighting game when it comes to combos and specials, with the exception of being able to summon your stand in order to deal more damage and to gain slightly new combos. Stylistically, the game does a fairly decent job of replicating the style of the manga in pixel art form. The characters look on model, with Jotaro and Dio looking the best in terms of sprites, with Kakyoin and Iggy looking the worst in my opinion. With Kakyoin, it looks like he's from a completely different JoJo game, and Iggy just looks weird as he never stops looking at the player. Everything else is very fluid and has a very satisfying weight and impact to the attacks and movement. What makes this even better is if you start oraing as JoJo and Dio starts muraing, you'll get into a clash, and while I only managed to do it once, it made me feel like I was a badass shonen character, much like how the beam clashes feel in the DBZ Budokai games. From the get-go, you have access to the story mode, the arcade mode, the versus mode, and the training mode. The arcade mode acts as its own version of story mode, as it allows you to go through various battles with any of the characters, all while getting your own story for each of them. Throughout the story mode, you eventually start unlocking various new things to do, but as far as I could tell, they were the mini-games you played through the story mode, so if you liked playing Gradius in your JoJo game, then by all means continue to play it. You also unlock more characters to play as in the arcade and versus mode of the game. Had I owned this game as a child, I probably would have played it a lot, as for some reason, even though I'm bad at fighting games, I love them a lot. Now then, all that being said, it was surprisingly fun. Like I said, this was created by Capcom, so it was bound to be a really decent fighting game. Granted, the only reason I was able to understand the story is because I have prior knowledge of JoJo and this part. To an outsider of the series, they would almost have no idea what's going on, as a lot of the finer details are dropped for the sake of the game itself, such as who the characters are and how they are connected with each other. The biggest example being Dio, as a non-fan would have no idea that Dio is a previous villain in the JoJo world who is attached to the body of the first Joestar, Jonathan. That isn't to say someone who isn't a fan couldn't have fun with this. It would just probably be unlikely, as by the time the game had come out in America, the JoJo manga hadn't officially been translated into English. While the story mode is bogged down by the constant quick-time events and minigames, I found myself really enjoying the fights and just powering through to reach Dio. And to have that fight with him and Zawoldo, and much like in part 3, the battles with Dio, are the best and most satisfying out of all the fights that take place in the story. Now then, I would say to at least try the game if you were a non-fan, but happen to be a fan of fighting games, as it is a rather enjoyable fighting game. However, you'll go out of your way to play it, as the only way to legally play it is to pay anywhere from $50 to $100 just to get a physical copy, and it isn't really worth it if you're not a massive fan of JoJo like I am. Now then, for fans of the series who haven't played it, I would say go for it, as I've heard it's better than All-Star Battle, but I've not personally played it, so I wouldn't know yet. There, are you happy? I not only beat the game, but also talked about you in a nice little package.
Could have been better. Frankly, I don't think you talked enough about Dio. You focused a bit too much on the Joestars. Overall, I would give it a 3 out of 10.
Right, well, if you excuse me, I have a plane to catch.
Not so fast, Jotaro Joestar!
Yeah, that's definitely not my name.
You must die at the hands of the world!
Uh-huh, and what if I just unplugged you?
Nani?
What just happened? Was time stopped?
Sorry, GBC, no time for that. I'm headed to Cairo.
What exactly did I miss?
When you next hear of me, it shall be known as the man who defeated Dio. Goodbye. Hey everyone, thanks for watching this video. I'll keep this really short and sweet because YouTube's end card system is stupid. Anyways, if you like this video, feel free to check out some of my other videos, hit that like button, and maybe just share it with other people. And if you want me to check out other JoJo games in the future, why don't you let me know. Or if you want me to stop the weeb shit, then yeah, that's cool too. Anywho, I'm GbcTyler, and I will see you all next time. Bye!